Carlos Nelson with Cascade Sports, and today we have the head coach, basketball coach out there in Laurel, Maryland, Coach Eric Hines. Hey, Coach, welcome to Cascade Sports.
Thank you, Carlos. I really appreciate having me be in here.
Hey, what I do to all my guests, let's go back to kindergarten. Your players might know you and your friends might know you, but my audience don't know you. So tell them where you went to school. Talk a little bit about who some of your mentors were uh, coming up, and who you got your inspiration to be a coach and to play ball. I don't know whether you played ball in high school or college or what have you. So let get a full Monty to our audience.
I appreciate that. Really, it all starts from a young age. I started playing ball really young. My brother and my cousin was really those that kind of pulled me onto the basketball court. My dad always took me to. He's a retired Navy veteran, and he took me to the basketball court every single Saturday morning, 6 o'clock in the morning, and that's really where I started finding love. So I grew up in Hampton Roads, Virginia. My family's from Philadelphia, and he was stationed down there in Norfolk Navy Base, so we played a lot around that area. And I really just went to school and grew up. I ended up going to high school at Great Bridge High School in Chesapeake, Virginia, and I played there, played basketball and football there. And
What position? Tell our audience a little bit about what
uh,
positions you was playing.
okay, so at football, I played quarterback, corner, and safety. Basketball, I was a point guard, shooting guard, and we had some good runs. So we
Talk
went to
about
the
that. My
region multiple
audience want
times.
to know. They don't.
Yeah,
We're Midwest, and now we're coming East Coast.
absolutely.
All right.
And there's a lot of good talent that came around that time, that when I played in
Yeah.
high
Well,
school.
talk about it. Let them know
So
what's
yeah,
up
so
there.
so we had a winning record, for basketball and football multiple years. We really was changing the culture and the team around that time. At Great Bridge. Great Bridge wasn't typically a winning program every year, but then when that class that I graduated in, the class before then, a lot of those guys, they really put a lot of work into the
What class
recreation
was
center
that?
and everything.
Give our
That was
audience some
2000,
idea.
the 99, 2000, 2001 class. They really kind of started for basketball, put it on the map, and as well as football. So we started to kind of win, and a lot of our guys really kind of started finally get looks. And then what I ended up doing, I had a 4.0 in high school, and I ended up going to University of Maryland on academics, to do engineering. So I ended up myself at University of Maryland College Park.
Was Lefty still the coach over there?
No, I don't believe so. It was Persian, I believe, when I
Yeah,
got there
showing
for
my
football, and
age.
then of course Gary Williams was there, and that was the year I got there. My freshman year was the year they won the national championship, so that was a fun year to kind of watch it and get to know those guys, see those guys play.
Uh, so what got you into coaching? When did you decide that you wanted to be a high school coach?
It's so funny enough, I wanted to always play ball my entire life, and I had some opportunities, but there was only a couple. Maryland was the school I wanted to go to, no matter what. And at the time, I wasn't getting recruited by Maryland. There was some other schools I was being recruited by, but I just wanted to go there, and I know I could be accepted there. My brother went to Maryland, so I really wanted to go to the same school as he did. So I ended up in Maryland, and after I graduated, I was doing a sports network with my brother and doing website design, graphic design, and I even did logistics for the government with my uncle. And that was my job afterwards. And I really got into the sports, but I kept playing. I kept playing. I kept playing. So I had a few opportunities for some tryouts, and then I tore my Achilles. Um, so I tore my right Achilles, was out for a year. 1 year later, I tore my left Achilles. So basically, that was God telling me, "Hey, it's not time for you to play basketball anymore. We have bigger things for you." And that's just a message I tell everyone. Like, just because you have an original dream, keep dreaming, because you never know how that initial dream will lead to so many other beautiful things and impact you can make on the world. And I met some great people throughout that journey. And just going from there, my dad basically told me while I was sitting there in Chesapeake, in one leg, he was like, "Hey, now that you're here, check out the Grassville High School. It's a brand new high school. It wasn't there when I was in school. Check out Grassville. Your old coach is coaching there, Andy Swersler." So I got healed. I was back at it now, and I kind of was just assisting. Based on my dad's nudge, he was like, you really will be good at this." And I was kind of still had this hoop dream in my head, but I knew that at that point, it was pretty much, I have two surgical Achilles. So, that kind of takes some
Tell our
time.
audience
Yeah.
a little bit real time how hard it is when you have that dream to play pro ball or go to another level for you to change your mental uh, outlook.
Absolutely. It is
And
one
being
of the
hurt
hardest things.
also.
It's one of the hardest things because especially depending on what you hurt. Like me, I hurt my legs, so I couldn't walk. So I had to time and time again to reflect in my bed where all I could do was lay down, prop up my leg, and just think about my life, think about the every single game I've ever played and what I need to actually get to the next level. And people don't understand that what you're experiencing in high school is a small aspect of all the talent that's around the world, especially nowadays. So so it really is a hard thing to understand, but you really got to understand self. And the big thing is about understanding who you are as a person, understanding that playing basketball is something that you do, that's not who you are. And even though that's something I enjoy, is my identity was separate from a basketball player. My identity was still being Eric Hines. And basketball is what I did. It was something I was good at, but it wasn't the only thing I did, and wasn't the only thing I was good at, and was the only thing I loved.
Hey, Coach, do you find that people, especially sports people's, their identity is, especially athletes, what they do, you know?
Yeah, absolutely. And that's because most of their life, like growing up, I had to realize that's where I got my applause from. That's how I define success. And is what I'm teaching my kids now is that success comes in a number of different ways.
I
And
love it.
and that's the beauty of as you grow and mature, you understand that, success comes with failure and challenges, but it also comes with discovery. And those discovering the adventures that's ahead of you is really the beauty of life, right? Being able to take take what you think and then find out something that you didn't know that you didn't know that you finally found out.
One door closes with the right frame of mind, you see another door opens up.
Yep, absolutely.
You
And a lot
wanted
of
to
times,
play and you wasn't able to do that, but another door opened up. Put a smile on your face, no less.
yep, absolutely. And what led me was the preparation. I was really intense when it came to basketball, especially football as well. But I really was someone that studied the two games a lot. And as a quarterback, I had to study the game. So and as a guard, you should be studying the game. So I studied the game so much that prepared me for when it was time to coach. I was able to walk into that and understand the things that I've been studying, watching all these greats growing up. I mean, I grew up in Hampton Roads, so I was a big Vic fan, an Iverson fan. And I love that. Even just seeing Vic now at Norfolk State and University now, and I was
I
there,
got him on the
growing up
schedule
there.
for an interview, baby
Yeah.
boy.
I mean that's one that he was one of those that we looked up to as kids and wanted to play like. I mean, Allen Iverson was the and one tours, and those type of things really prepared me for understanding the different stylings of play that you have for players. So when I got to meet players to coach them, it really was that preparation that met opportunity that led to the success. And that's what
So,
people need to understand, that preparation, opportunities going to come. And like you said, another door opens, but it's not just another door. 3 or 4 or 5 or 6 doors may open. And as you prepare and you meet that opportunity, that's when success is going to come. And you always got to keep in the framework that success always has failure within it, because that's the only way we grow. Yeah, we got to grow through conflict. That's how trees grow. You grow through the roots and you grow up through that soil and that dirt. So really just understanding through those failures, that's where your success really grows through.
so how many years you been head coach?
So I've been the head coach at Laurel High School for 2 years, and this is my first head coaching job that I have. I've been assistant. I had the beauty and the privilege to be able to train with Keith Vinny here in the DMV for many years, and that's like my brother to me. And he's
Is
now
he a
uh,
well-known entity?
yeah, he's pretty well known in this area for sure. He broke the 3-point record at Marshall and McNamara, and now he's coaching at the NBA level, and he's still family to me, and we're still communicate. So I was able to train on him and really learn and understand the things that it takes to be in a high intensity, but be able to push the players to a whole new heights and levels.
So what was y'all's record before you came?
While I was the assistant, our last record was, I believe it was maybe 15 and 10 or 15-11, 15-12,
All right,
something
over
like that.
500.
Yep, and we were over 500 that year. But from what I've heard, historically, Laurel didn't really have a strong history of winning, and that's why I kept getting. It was like you have some good years, but they just really wasn't on the
Mather
elite
was the
status.
team when I was there,
Yeah, yeah,
but
it was.
under your leadership, run down your first year. Your first year, and what were some of the challenges?
The first year was definitely a transition for everybody, just because of when you get a new coach, all the players that was in the previous regime, they still have those habits still there too, and they got to get used to you as a coach. And then it's just being able to navigate the parents, navigate the players, navigate the new scenarios, create your own philosophy and have everybody buy into that new philosophy because it might look different than the previous philosophy. And the previous coach, we had a good relationship. So he was another one of my mentors, and Coach Lloyd, and I was able to learn a lot under him. But then I had my own philosophies as well that I had to instill. So those are the major challenges. Having them with the rules we have that's different than private school. The public schools, you have a certain number of days you can really have them, and you don't have really a preseason like the private schools do. So really having them instill my entire philosophy in offense, and have them understand how I operate, all within a short-term period. So we
No,
started off, winning a couple games. Then when we went on a major losing streak. It was like a 6-game losing streak.
I always ask players, how hard is it for them, or do they understand buying into a new coach that comes into buying
Mm-hmm.
into their program? Oh, the coach didn't do it that way. Well, I'm not that
Yeah.
coach. I'm like, how did you navigate that? And
um,
talk about that six game losing streak.
oh
Was
yeah.
that like on the mental of your players and yourself being a new coach?
Oh yeah, that was the start, in my opinion. That losing streak was the start of my coaching career, right? Because I wasn't learning to be a coach until I had that losing streak. And the games weren't all bad. I mean, it were close games to some of them, and being able to navigate that really, I really focused in on the mental aspects of the players. So we have a book club that I had. I talk about mentality and motivation videos. I'm a motivational speaker. One of my assistant coaches is a motivational speaker. He runs 100-mile races, named Coach McFadden, Xavier McFadden. He runs 100-mile races, 200-mile races. So he talks about the perseverance and the mentality piece. I'm a Christian man, so God leads me throughout. So we pray, and I'm able to use scriptures and just my understanding of Christianity to be able to help instill positive actions into these young men, having them understand what being a young man looks like outside, the life skills that they need in order to be successful in life, not just on the basketball court. And I instill that into basketball. And I explain that throughout everything that we do. So it was easy for the guys to start to become more composed as they got used to the understanding that basketball is not just your skills, it's also the mentality behind what you're doing, why you're doing it, how you're doing it, and then what makes the most sense as an overall team. And with that, having them read books on mentality, books on U squared is all about being better and exponentially growing yourself. I have them read things like Think Grow Rich that has to do with a financial aspect, but then also As a Man Thinketh is what we read this year, and really kind of thinking through
You
like
putting them
how
on the
I think.
right. Those are all the books I read coming up
Yeah,
also.
absolutely. So we're really building something within them as a high character person. And I have a no cussing policy in my program. So I don't cuss out the kids. My coaches don't cuss out the kids because I don't believe that a negative coaching leads to a positive result. No, a positive coaching and positive results and inspiring the kids is what leads to the positive results, and that will lead to us be able to have the success that we have. And that's really what my philosophy was, and it took the kids a little while to really understand that. So that after that losing streak, we really won a game. And then after we won a game, they started to believe that if they put something ahead of them, then they could really accomplish it. And I'm really big on goal setting. I have my own active goals process that I created, copywritten and trademark, that I really take the kids through, that has them visualize their goals, write them down, have a plan for them, and really start taking steps towards that goal. And that really becomes something that's really a framework of and a staple of my program. And that goal setting really is a big part. So after they set those goals, as a team and as individuals, they really started to see the success come, and they really just started to believe. And we ended up winning the region for the first time in 15 years that first year, with a winning record. And we ended up winning the region, and it was like the goal that they really wanted to have was to win the region and to go to states. And that's what happened. And when we lost in states that first year by 1 point to Walt Whitman, we lost by one, and that was the end of that year, which many of those players were juniors and sophomores, and I had three seniors that year.
So next year, run it down.
So all summer long, my senior leadership was amazing. I talked about having a player-led team, and they led that team. They went out on their own, and they all grabbed the whole guys together because they never wanted to feel what they felt after that 1 point loss in the states. And their goal was to win a state championship. They wanted to win the state championship, they wanted to win the regional championship, and they wanted to win the 4A county. That was their goal from the beginning of the summer. And they went in the weight room. They worked out together. They played together. They did so many times where, without me saying
What I
anything,
was
doing
getting ready
anything.
to comment on, you made the statement that summer it was team leadership. That's altogether different. That's
Yep.
that's when the mojo was really getting ready to pop.
Absolutely. Absolutely. They believed. I told them from when they were freshmen that I believe they can win a state championship. If they stay together, they can win a state championship. And they got a taste of it. And then that second year, we came in, and that summer was up and down summer for them. They won some games, they lost some games in their AAU and their summer league. But starting in November, they were all in. We set out again, like we do every year. What is your goal? And they made it clear. They wrote it down on note cards. Um, State championship, regional championship, county championship. We ended up finishing 26-2.
Oh,
They
balling
go,
all
they,
out of control, baby
yeah.
boy.
One, and I have them set individual goals. And when I sat down and I sit down with each one, and I have personal conversation with them, and I sat down with two of them, and I said, okay, what do you want? What is your personal goal? And my point guard said, I want to be first team all county. My shooting guard said, I want to be player of the year. And they wrote them down. They put it on their note card. And I told them, write them down, look at it every day, believe in it, and then work towards that goal. Amadou Kaloga was first team all county, as he wrote down. Jermaine Taylor was Prince George's County 4A player of the year.
All right.
And it really just started there. And then from there, they were balled in.
What kind of
And
accolades did they get with you whipping the team in top flight shape?
yeah.
What kind of accolades did you receive?
So I also ended up was honored to be coach of the year for Prince George's County 4A. So that was just God's blessing. on me. So I really do am grateful for such an honor. And I give that all to God and give it to my coaches and my
How do you
family who
feel
support it.
about bringing Christianity into the locker room? Because the gentleman that's over Cascade Sports, Mike Kilbert, Coach Mike Kilbert, he's been coaching for 30 something years.
Mm-hmm.
He brings the Lord to me every Monday morning, 4 in the morning, 5 in the morning. He's sending
Nice.
prayer, and I think that affects his athletes. Good, good character, and when you brought that in, I've met so many coaches that have that uh, link with religion and sports, especially Christians.
Mm-hmm.
And do you see that rubs off on your kids?
Yes, absolutely. And I have kids that have different religious beliefs.
Right.
Um, and so I never push anything on them. Here's what I do push. The common amongst what I found out amongst many religious beliefs is that you want to treat others in a good way and similar to how you would like others to treat you in a positive way. And we have those conversations about how do you treat others? How do you speak? How do you communicate? Right? There's a way to say something, there's a way how you're saying it that matters too, and the tone that comes with that, the inflection and the timing that comes with that. So bringing in God to me, I can't do anything with God. My dad used to always say nothing but God, and he's been my inspiration with when it comes to coaching and playing basketball for many years. My parents have been just fully supportive of my basketball journey, player and the coach, and really I can't do it without God, and I'm not going to be not myself. So I have to be me. And the framework of my heart is that I need to be honest with these kids. And to be honest with these kids got to understand my hurts as a man, as a father, you're saying as a person that's walking in society. And they got to understand my beliefs and where my faith lies. And that's why a lot of them really are able to talk to me because I do bring in, I don't push religion. I push, you're saying your own inner spirit and being able to do the things. I tell them all the time, asking you shall receive, seeking you shall find, knocking the door shall be open to you. For those who ask, you're saying receive, those who seek, they find, and those who knock, the door is open. And I say that to them so they can understand that we don't have because we don't ask. And if you're not asking and you're not taking steps towards what you're hoping to get, then it's just an empty dream. But you're saying faith without works is dead. So you have to be able to work towards the things that you believe in. And it doesn't matter what they believe, it doesn't matter what you believe in your heart and in your mind. And that is what my guys go off of every single day.
And that hold it, that's excellent. You know, I'm a grown man and I wasn't into all of that, but Coach Hilbert, he got my mind right with a lot of that positive attitude and what the creator would have you be doing, and then you working with these young minds that are pliable, uh, good character, and all of that makes a difference. Just following in someone's footsteps that they actually can see that they're not just talking the talk, they walking the walk. And that's very
Absolutely.
hard in 225 because people talk the talk,
I
but they
agree.
don't walk the walk. And the kids, they they emulate that. You don't
It
know. It's a
is. It
pleasure
is.
uh, speaking to you as a young man. When you came on, I said how young you look because our kids do not have a lot of male role models, and you being a coach, I know my coach, uh, and this is in the 60s, they be your daddy, your uncle, your best friend, and everything depends on what your home situation is.
Absolutely.
And I just want to applaud you. I don't know you, but just from this interview, you seem like the type of coach that I would want my kid to be coached by. So,
Yeah, I appreciate
what are we looking forward for this upcoming season from you and your team?
Well, like I said, I go pretty big. I have big dreams. So If I say anything less than state championship, then I'll be lying. The goal for any coach, it should be to have your team get to a point where they can win a state championship. Of course, for the public school here. So I want to go back to back first and foremost. But above that, so really ultimately be able to get, of course, win a state championship, but be able to get my kids to be able to have the opportunity to play in college, get an education, and be able to play a sport that they really love. I really am big on getting them to be able to get recruited. So that's my next stage, and my next goal is to really highlight some of these public school kids that are really good and really good character and really good kids, but they just don't go to a private school here. And they just don't have the money to necessarily go to private school. And can we get some of those scouts at each level be able to look at our kids more? So really that's ultimately the goal. As a team, win a state championship. But me as a coach, I really want to be able to give these kids an experience and an experience at the next level.
Well, Coach, it was a plum pleasing pleasure having you on the show today. And we look forward to working with you through this upcoming season and bringing some of your players onto the show. Do you have any closing comments?
Yeah, I just want to thank you for even inviting me. This is great. Feel free. I'm always open to talk to you, and this has been a great time. I just want to give love to my family and the Laurel community. I appreciate them just accepting me, and my family, the sacrifices that they make. So I definitely have to give them a shout out for that. And just anyone that's listening, just really just believe in yourself and keep having faith and take the steps towards it.
All right, Coach. We look forward to visiting with you beginning of the season.
Perfect. Sounds good.
All right.
This program is brought to you by the City of Fountains Coaches Association.